about as far as getting those guys stopped. We didn't make a play. That's the bottom line. He had a good play called on the boot on Isaiah. He was close to making it. He didn't make it. And the two-point play was a good call by him to follow route. That's tough to defend, but the bottom line is we didn't make the play. That's the bottom line.
Do you take anything out of playing the Patriots a couple of years ago, or with different quarterback?
No, the system's the same, pretty much. Obviously, Josh was the offensive guy for a long time in New England, so that system didn't leave. Obviously Matt's calling the plays now, and coach is helping with the offense this year, but it's very similar to what we saw in Vegas and what they were 2 years ago. So it hadn't changed much at all.
It seems like individually there's been a lot of players that have had good years. J.J.
Sure.
Watt's kind of turned back the clock. Buda Baker's still playing well. Isaiah and Zaven kind of making strides.
Yep.
But juxtapose that with the fact that the defense has kind of been, I don't know, inconsistent, erratic, whatever.
It's fair.
Why do you think that has been the case?
I'm not sure. It's been games where it's been pretty good, and it's been about 5 or 6 plays of bad football. I think where we are as a team, defensively, we've had a chance to make plays to turn games, and we hadn't made those plays all the time. When we've made them, we've helped our team win, and the games we've lost, we've had chances to help us win. Even last week, we had an interception that they called back that we should have caught clean. We had a punch-out fumble that we assumed we picked up, right? They gave it back to them. And we had a chance to make a play in the fourth quarter on a quarterback that we didn't catch. So I think overall, we as a staff, we went through our numbers last week, and you're right, Zaven's having a hell of a year numbers-wise. I mean, it's really special what he's done as far as the tackles, the PBUs, the sacks, the forced fumbles, his plays on the ball is high. Isaiah's having a hell of a season numbers-wise. So is Zach Allen. So is Buda, obviously. He's at 90 tackles, Buda. That's a lot of tackles with 5 games to go. So obviously Buda's playing well. JJ's had a good year, for us rushing the passer. So it's been 4 or 5 guys who are playing really well for us, but it comes down to making game-changing plays. Those plays we hadn't made consistently. That's the frustration, with our defense. It's been times where it looked really good, and it's times where you go, man, what is that? And I can't explain it, all the time, but obviously it's frustrating, and we got 5 weeks to kind of fix it.
You mentioned those 2 turnovers that were even. It's been almost 2 weeks.
Sure.
Watching the tape, do you think they should have been overturned?
I'm not sure. Obviously with replay, everything's down to the fine degree, and it's tough to see it on the field, with the playing eye. But when you stop it and rewind it 20 times, I mean, you can see the ball hit the ground a little bit, but the control of it, that's the question, right? I don't know. We've had a couple calls this year that's been mind-boggling. Seattle, we had a couple touchdowns called on us that were blatant push-offs. We had a play against the Rams that Jay picked up for a touchdown. That was a blatant sack fumble touchdown. So every week it's been calls that hadn't gone our way. But, again, that's the game, and we have to make more plays to win games. And that's what we're not doing, for the most part. The effort's there. Guys are playing hard each week. Guys are making enough plays to have good, solid years. But as far as a group, just making plays to change games, we haven't done that.
What do you see out of New England's offense?
I see an offense that's running the football well. It's a very conservative pass game. Lots of screens, all kind of screens. It's like a defensive guy's calling offense. It's how a defensive guy will call offensive plays, right? Let's not turn the ball over. Let's get 4 yards of play and try to burn clock, and that's what they're doing. And that's what he's going to do on Monday night. He's going to be patient. Maybe take a shot here, from time to time, but for the most part, it's running game, it's quick game, and it's screens. So that means the defensive guy. That's what he's doing. He's calling like a defensive guy would call plays.
What have you seen from Stevenson? He looks like a
man. He is special, guys. I mean, this guy has got 56 receptions, and 145 carries. I mean, he's a load. He's a big back who plays first, second, third down. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can make big plays. He runs through arm tackles. He's a tough tackle. So the offense definitely goes through him. Myers, 16, has been a guy that's been heavily targeted. They got Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry. They've got Aguilar. They've got Parker. They got plenty of weapons on the offense. And so it's it's scary when you watch the group because they have so much talent around Mac, and Mac's a good young quarterback. I mean, he can process information quickly. The ball's out of his hands quickly. He's very, very smart. So, you're just kind of waiting for it, for it to explode because they have so much talent on offense. But it's been, runs, quick game, and it's been more screens. So hopefully it don't change that much on Monday for us.
How would you evaluate Marcus Golden's season?
I think Marcus is, playing solid football, and obviously the sack numbers this year are down a little bit for us. I think we're at 24, 25. I mean, last year we were probably more 30s. Not playing with a lead a lot, has hurt us there. It's always chasing wins, so teams are being more conservative, in the third and fourth quarter. So you have to get a lead to rush the passer and get sack numbers, and that's Junk's deal, right? He's a pass rusher, so to have a chance, to rush the passer with a lead, that didn't happen much this year for him. So, but he's been solid. He works hard every day, and he wants to win for us. So, I have no problems with how he's played.
What is it? How tough is it when you're playing a guy like, say, Stevenson for the first time?
Mm-hmm.
You see him on tape. The
Yeah.
players see him on tape.
Right.
But that's not reality once they get on that field and see what it's like to
Right.
deal with it. How tough an adjustment is that, and just have to stay with it for 4 quarters?
Right. It's tough for the players because I mean he's a big back, and I mean you can't simulate that in practice, and we've played some really good backs this year, so that should help us a little bit. But he's a bigger back who runs through arm tackles constantly, so it's going to take a effort of all of us getting to the ball and tackling this guy's legs, because if not, I mean he's going to break some tackles. But again, you can't simulate it in practice, so you have to show up with a mindset of being physical from the first snap to the last snap to get him stopped. If not, it'll be a long day for you.
Byron was out there yesterday, but not
Yeah.
today. Is that just being cautious or more of a regression?
He is day-to-day still, so hopefully he gets better towards the end of the week and he can play for us on Monday, but right now he's day-to-day.
I know you were being a little tongue-in-cheek about the defensive coach calling the offensive plays and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
sure.
But do you think that's true, that defensive-minded head coaches have more conservative play calls? And if so, why is that?
It's the nature of the beast. Defensively, obviously your focus is keeping the points to a minimum and burning clock and playing less snaps and all those things. So absolutely, I think your mindset shifts, to that side of the ball. It's what coach has done forever, in New England. I mean, he's always played good defense. He's always burned the clock. He's always had great clock management, so that won't change with Coach Belichick. Obviously he's the head coach. That's his expertise is on the defense side of the ball, so that team is going to play through his defense. And that's what they've done forever, even when Tom was there.
You mentioned earlier the late buy. I'm
Yeah.
just curious generally, and you've been in the league a long time. What's your feeling on buys that come so late? You think a lot of teams, I mean, there's still 6 teams have a buy this
Right.
weekend.
I think if you're winning, a late buy is really good. If you're not winning, a late buy, early buy is not good. It's about winning in this league. If you're winning, everyone's spirit's high, everyone wants to come to work, and if you're not winning, it's tough. So having a late buy and, obviously, right now for us, this is, let's play again so we can win, but it doesn't matter much. The mindset goes through winning and losing. That's what players and coaches really, feed off.
You anticipate guys like Majay and Cameron to see an uptick in snaps the final 5 games?
Yes. I mean, Cam's now the starter at nickel, and Majay's nickel starter, and Cam's a dime starter. So absolutely, those two kids are working hard. They're getting better every day. And you can see the talent, starting to unleash a little bit, especially in Majay. I mean, he is playing good football, first, second, and third down. So absolutely.
Where have they grown the most?
I think for Cam, it's the run game stuff. I mean, he's gotten better at that stuff. His rush ability has always been pretty strong. And I think for Majay, it's the pass rush portion. So it's kind of the opposite on both of those young guys.
Thanks, BJ.
All right, guys. Thank you. Enjoy your day, guys.